My lords and noble knights, this is Geoffrey of Villehardouin.
Units, await my orders!
And this is yet another siege of that familiar fortress, only that this time my enemies asked that we change the sides. It is still a 2v3 battle in terms of florins, and in this case I'm attacking, I'm commanding the Spanish, and my allies are the Russian king commanding Portugal, and Wunderwaffe commanding the French. So our enemies had 30,000 florins, we had 45,000 florins, and any unit was allowed except no more than 3 cavalry and 3 artillery per player.
We are through the enemy's walls, into the breach for glory and victory!
So the bombardment phase has begun, we turn down the walls. Here's the French side by Wunderwaffe, and the Portugal side of the Russian king.
Excellent! We have breached our enemy's walls.
Our enemies begin to retreat towards the keep. We were facing Denmark, Sicily, and Venice. And we are attacking. So oddly, although the defenders had the option to take the Turks and the Egyptians, they decided to go for the conventional factions, and you can predict what happened. Or if you cannot predict, keep watching. So here's a clever move by the Russian king. He's sending his conquistadors on a special mission. He lost a few conquistadors there, but the result was probably worth it. So he has noticed there are 2 mortars outside the keep, and some archers very slow in coming back. So he charges mortars, and oddly enough, the archers, the Danish archers, killed 2 of the conquistadors. Very strange. They charge again. And they pull out for another charge. Fantastic discipline from the conquistadors. Excellent training. That mortar crew is completely destroyed, and they're readying for yet one more charge of the other mortar. Now those Venetian archers decide to attack them in close combat to save the mortar. So they pull out again and prepare for one more charge. In the meantime, they become targets of every archer and every crossbowman on the walls. The Venetian archers attempt to withdraw, the mortar crew is still there. At this point, I am sending some mounted crossbowmen to help them out.
Give grace to God. We have captured the enemy's walls.
The conquistadors tried to catch up with the retreating Venetian archers, but they escaped to the safety of the keep. The Spanish general was also heading over in case he could be of some help, but he arrived a little too late. And here's my glorious Spanish army. It has entered the fort, and they are preparing for the bombardment of the keep. And here the defenders, they have retreated into the keep. Sicily is commanded by Coolio D45. Denmark is commanded by King John, and Venice is commanded by Dr. John A. Zoidberg. The casualty tally is just slightly in our favor at this point. 3% losses for the attackers, 8% for the defenders. The defenders are firing at us with the remaining mortars. Venice had 1 whole mortar and Sicily had 2 left. The Venetian mortars are firing at the French, who are now entering the fortress, along with their siege engines and their artillery. Also, one of the Spanish basilisks is heading this way, and the French, helped by the Spanish, are now starting the bombardment of the keep from this side. The Venetians reply with their mortars, and look what happened.
We're under attack! Our noble brothers have lost their leader. Without their general, they may lose heart and flee.
The French general was left a little too far forward, and he was sniped by a mortar. That was bad luck for the French, but a little careless too. The Portuguese have now also brought in the basilisks. So the bombardment continues. And of course, the Spanish basilisks are doing their fair share of that work. The towers of the keep have practically all been destroyed, and the walls are being torn down. The defenders are in disarray. They're pulling back from the walls to avoid being hit by the cannon shots. They seem also prepared to abandon the defense of the walls and fight at the plaza. But look at this. This is the Venetian general, and he has just conceded defeat, looking down in shame. So our enemies, who wanted a rematch as the defenders, are not even prepared to fight.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The ladders are now in place. Walls are no match for valor and force. Praise to our lord! Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart.
And divine retribution strikes at the Venetian general. Onwards, comrades, into the breaches. Portuguese have brought the crossbowmen. The Danish player is counter-attacking with a missile unit, and the Portuguese player sends in some knights to stop them. And that was the last gasp of the Danish player, who at this point appears to have abandoned the game. He will no longer make further moves. We have not yet realized that, so we're playing thinking that at least two of our enemies are still defending. But only Giulio D45, commanding Sicily, is still actively playing. And the French have entered the keep, as have done now the Spanish and the Portuguese. And the Danish units left stationary are being routed. One more Danish unit is routed, and the conquistadors notice an interesting target in the distance. The Danish general being charged by the French bodyguard. And the conquistadors charging as well to kill one of his bodyguard. There is the general. He's fighting for his life.
Praise to our lord! Our men have slain the enemy general.
And so my brave warriors have killed the second enemy general. The Danish are now practically completely broken. Only a few men still resisting. But Sicily is still in the game. Although at this point I think Sicily also sent us a message saying that he's giving up as his friends have left him on his own. And at the back here, 3 units have scaled that wall on ladders. The Sicilian general is here, along with some mortars, feeling safe, not realizing that Spanish units were climbing up that wall. And he is now engaged in close combat with the Spanish units. Here's the general right in front of us. His bodyguards are trying to protect him. And the mortar crew is caught in that fighting as well. He was nearly slain there. Another stab in the back, and one more.
My lord!
And one more.
Our men no longer command the castle.
His hard to kill.
The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men. Glorious heaven above! Our men have captured the enemy general. Guard him well. Give the dogs some. Only half the enemy force remains.
So the rematch of our former attackers as defenders came to a disappointing conclusion. And the moral of the story is: take care of your armies, and your soldiers will take care of themselves.
All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.